5. Yeah. Okay. We are at another top of the hour. We are in round 5 of our Entrepreneurship and Innovation Improv Pitch Competition. So this hour is sponsored by the College of Engineering. The students in this set of pitches have been challenged to come up with an innovation that can be used in the winter. So they've had 24 hours to do their pitch. Our judge and our sponsor of the hour is Dave Sly, who teaches in the College of Engineering, also teaches in the College of Business occasionally,
mostly engineering,
and is an entrepreneur and great person to have at the university. Been working with Dave for many, many years. So he's going to talk about the initiatives in entrepreneurship, innovation, engineering, and then we'll serve as our judge. So welcome, Dave.
Great. Thanks a lot, Judy. And welcome to everyone to our College of Engineering pitch segment here. Well, hopefully the engineers will really excel. We'll be grading them certainly for that. I just wanted to kind of say that our focus in the College of Engineering for entrepreneurship is to try to get entrepreneurial skills, skill set and mindset into the engineers at least once a year for each of the 4 years they're here. And we're looking to do that curricularly, trying to make sure that in at least one course they take in their freshman year and one course they take in their sophomore year and so on, that there is an assignment or project, something where they're having an opportunity to look at the entrepreneurial nature of this. How would a customer use it? How much value would they derive for it? What would it cost to deliver that value? What are the competitive attributes? Who else is trying to do this? What are the industry trends? Is this something that's hot and new, or are we at the end of the product life cycle? Just getting engineers to think about something more than the technical aspects of the product, but really the human market and revenue basis of the product. The other thing that we're doing is really emphasizing not just entrepreneurship, but intrapreneurship. And we have over 9,000 students here in the College of Engineering, and we don't necessarily need 9,000 new businesses in Ames every 4 years. That might be a little too much. But the companies that our students go to work for, those companies need innovative products. They need these students to think not just about the technical aspects of what they're doing, but the market aspects of what they're doing. And these companies like John Deere and Caterpillar and Case New Holland, just to name 3, they're all companies that are in evolving markets. Their technology and the use of their products is all over the map, not just in the industrial or agricultural side, but also the commercial side. So we are trying to take these skills and let students know, hey, I don't care whether you're starting a business or you're innovating within your company, these are important skills to have. We have 8 fellows, faculty fellows in the College of Engineering, 1 in each department, whose job it is to mentor and get these students the help that they need so that they can be successful within our respective departments, but also working on ways that we can help the departments out as a whole, the College of Engineering internally, do things from a competitive nature, share resources, share opportunities. And that's where the Innovation Center really becomes a great resource for us, because it provides programming and opportunity for our engineering students to interact not just amongst themselves, but with students from the other colleges as well. So it's the Innovation Center has just been a terrific resource from that perspective. And then lastly, I want to mention the programs such as the Papa John Center that Judy, who was just up here, runs, provides SciStarters and Startup Factory and Okoboji Entrepreneurship Institute and all kinds of great programming that we want to make sure our engineering students are taking full advantage of, and that we're providing the best students we have that have the best ideas and the most momentum to take advantage of those resources so that we have a much greater ecosystem of success here at Iowa State. With that, let's take a look at some of our student contestants.
And just to be clear, there may not be engineers. So the students can sign up for any time slot throughout the day.
Great.
So this is your hour and you're the judge, but you may have students from other disciplines.
Great.
Just make
I will
sure
look forward to it.
Clear before we get that. So let's get going. Francis, come on in, Francis. Francis, you're going to stand at the mic. Take that ass off the land. Caitlin's going to give you a 2-minute countdown, and then we get 3 minutes Q&A. This is Dave Sly. He's our judge for the hour.
Hello.
College of Engineering. Okay. Start when you're ready.
Okay, so as I was walking to class, or not class, but just the library today to campus, there was so much wind, and I was just thinking, what if there wasn't this wind? Like, it would be fine, the snow would be pretty. And I think that a lot of people find themselves thinking that. And one place where this is kind of winter inspired. It's not really a winter product, but it is with weather. So one place that the wind is a problem is that on campus this year, they brought the Wi-Fi outside, which was really nice because people love being outside. It's a morale booster just to be in the sun. And when we're stuck inside studying and it's warm out, people just want to be outside, want to be done. They're unproductive. So I think if we build some type of contraption that is very portable and small, and it kind of is conformed to the tables that are the circular tables that are outside all over campus. Students could just easily set it up, and they could wrap a wind blocker type of contraption around these tables so that they could study outside, still get the sun, be outside, but not have the wind blowing and disrupting their productivity.
Great. So do you envision this windbreak as something that the students would bring with themselves and carry around, or do you think this is something that would be installed by campus and it would be like a physical part of the chair?
So I think it would be a great thing if it was installed by campus, like into each table. It could be maybe somehow in the bench, and you could pull it out, something retractable possibly. Or if that's not feasible, I'm not really an engineer, so I don't really know how that design stuff might work, but it might be possible. But maybe people could rent it from the library and just take it out to a table. And it could be set up as easily as like a hammock, which a lot of people do, and it's
Well, the hammocks, I think people bring themselves. So maybe to that point, and I guess you're right, they could rent a hammock as well.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't mention the sun in the summer. You're thinking about winter. I know this is a winter project, but perhaps maybe it's a type of canopy that could be either on the side or the top to protect comfort from, you said, the wind or the elements. Maybe if it's raining, they would put it on, and you see this being possibly in there.
Yeah, and maybe like a mosquito net on the top, because I know that was another thing that prevented me from going to study outside. I would just sit down, and then I would sit there for as long as I could until I got aggravated by the bugs.
Great. All right.
You good?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Caleb.
Stand at the mic. And don't trip on our cords there. You can take your mask off. This is Dr. Dave Sly, who is our judge for the day. Okay,
Hello.
we're
Hi,
gonna do
Deb.
a 2-minute countdown.
Nice to
and
meet you.
2 minutes of Q&A. And stand up to the mic,
Okay.
and you're gonna tell us about a solution to winter. Yes,
I can start
you
anytime.
can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hello, my name is Caleb Clement. And one thing I've noticed ever since COVID-19 began is the difficulty of men with big, thick, full beards experience with wearing masks, whether they have to scrunch them up or scrunch their beard up to fit under the mask. And some may say just shave it off, but there's a number of reasons that men need their beards, such as a thick, full beard can actually protect against the sun's harmful UV rays and insulate your face against inclement weather conditions. And a lot of the men I know with thick, full beards are out working in these inclement weather conditions every day, so they don't want to shave the beard off. A couple other things it can do, keeps your face more moisture, healthier, where you're not shaving it every day. You aren't putting little cuts and scratches in it, and actually keeps those pores closed versus shaving. Opens the pores up to bacterial infection, and it also increases confidence. So maybe I shouldn't have shaved yet. But my solution for that is a beard mask. Similar to this, it will hook on your ears, and the part that covers your nose and mouth would obviously be much smaller because this fits down over my chin. But then additional to that, there would be straps, kind of like a chin strap on a football helmet, that hook with Velcro under your beard. And because they're Velcro, they are adjustable and fit comfortably around any beard, any make, any model. And You buy one as a gift for your stubborn family member with a beard because you know they don't like masks. Thank you.
Great. So do you, as you bring that up, it would seem that it would also keep maybe the beard tucked up a little bit, maybe provide some additional temperature
Regulation. Yeah.
insulation. And I could also see, maybe you said that these people work physically outdoors. It's perhaps a safety concern that their beard is caught in things, and they could see this as an opportunity to kind of keep their beard close to their face so it doesn't get caught in any loose spinning machinery.
Yeah, that
I
would
was
work good.
thinking about that as well as you're looking at the value proposition of this mask. So do you see any stylistic aspects? Is this like a Carhartt mask, or is this a paper mask? What type of materials are you considering?
When I think of these type of beards, I think of Carhartt. So I think it would be Carhartt canvas would look pretty cool.
Okay.
Or you could design it to look like a football chin strap. That's another
Okay, so you're
alternative.
thinking about sports insignia on your mask, perhaps?
That or big rugged outdoor man.
How do you anticipate marketing these? Where do you see that these would be sold?
Probably online marketing platforms such as Facebook and would be one of the easier ways to reach a larger audience.
How do you see this as something that companies might be encouraged to provide for their employees, their bearded employees? Is this something that you could get a commercial outlet on, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I could definitely see that happening.
And where do you think these would be produced? What might they cost to produce? Have you thought about those aspects?
I have not thought about production cost yet or in any of those aspects.
Have you seen any similar products being offered for beards? or other
Before
types of things?
before this, I was researching, trying to find something like it, and I looked up beard mask, and even then, I looked on Etsy and I couldn't find anything. But I did find like masks that long that just go down all the way over your beard. And one thing, I don't have my other mask, but one thing I noticed with that mask is it's bigger and bulkier than that, and it's nowhere near the length of those full beard mask, and I don't like just the bulkiness aspect of it. So
Okay.
that is one plus positive to my design.
What about the possibility of like a face shield as opposed to allowing you to keep your beard fully down instead of a mask? Do you see a face shield being a competitive product or not to your bearded mask idea?
I don't really see that as a competitor, as if you're wearing it when you're, I guess if you're out working outdoors, you might not need a mask, so it wouldn't really be needed there. But if you would need a mask in that instance, like say it's cold out and you just want a mask on to keep your face warm, then it's not as, if you're doing labor intensive hard work, I don't see a face mask being very, very helpful.
Okay. So we're out of time. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Oh, well, hello, and thank you for being here today. My name is Rebecca Hall, and I'm here today to present a solution to a problem that nearly 20% of Americans face each year. What problem am I talking about? Well, the winter blues, of course. As many of you know, some people face depressive symptoms around the onset of winter months. However, unlike depression, the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, otherwise known as the winter blues, have a very easy treatment to them: the sun's rays. Unfortunately, many of us live in climates where getting the appropriate amount of the sun's rays for our mental health is incapable due to the cold winter climates. That is where reflective solutions comes into play. Reflective Solutions is a window attachment system which utilizes both the reflective nature of the sun as well as optimal angle of incidence in order to provide more sun's rays into your home throughout the winter months. Not only does our window attachment system utilize sun tracking technology to give you the optimal angle of incidence of the sun's rays into your home, but it also utilizes the material aluminum oxynitride, which is highly optical transmittal compound, which has greater than 85% optical transmission, which is much greater than your typical glass. So this window attachment system will provide greater UV rays into your home, as well as light scattering, so that you can help better combat the winter blues. There are a few things out there today for seasonal affective disorder. However, there are negative implications to some of those therapies, such as high eye strain and insomnia related to poor therapy. So our window attachment systems will help combat winter blues without you even having to think about it. So I urge you, the next time you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps in those winter seasons, look towards reflective solutions and things might just get a bit brighter. Thank
Great.
you.
Very good. So is this something that goes on the inside of the window or the outside of the window?
A little bit of both. So you'd have a system that would be on the outside of the window that could catch the sun, and then it will pop it in to the inside of the window, which has a separate mirror that will also like be changing as the sun.
So there are basically two mirrors, one on the outside, one on the inside, and they're pointing to each other to kind of direct more of the rays in.
Exactly. And then depending, you know, I'm sure there would be like different pay grades or like different price ranges. Like I said, the aluminum nitrate oxynitride, I'm sorry, is quite an expensive ceramic material, but your standard glass in mirrors is not very effective at producing that reflection. So that's why I went towards the aluminum oxynitride.
So I'm assuming then that means that the outside and the inside mirrors are moving.
Yes.
So how are you powering those?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's something to kind of look forward to, would be hopefully solar powered. So then you wouldn't have to have any, you know, income, any operating cost associated with that.
Okay. And how do you anticipate selling these?
I would anticipate just through kind of you know, first off, finding who is affected by seasonal affective disorder, and then reaching out to them and saying like, here's a more cost-effective way to treat your seasonal affective disorder than some of the light therapy techniques that are out there already.
So are you thinking about like from a medical angle or a health club angle, or are you thinking more like Amazon? What was kind of
Yeah, I think more of a person to person, so more of an Amazon type angle, less medical push, I would say. Yeah.
So have you considered what these might sell for, what they might cost to build?
I have not. I like I said, I think that there would be probably different price points. You could probably have a more elementary version where like you yourself could either input certain stats to help the like sun tracking technology, or you yourself could like manually automate it. And then obviously like higher technology would be higher price, and higher aluminum nitride content would be a higher price as well.
Okay, good. Those are questions I had.
Awesome.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Becca. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes.
She's chemical engineering student.
Okay, very good.
Always coming behind.
Okay, good.
They close it. I sent her a text. I think that's what she needs to do. Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you today?
Good. You're gonna sit up by that, sit up. You're gonna stand up by the mic.
Okay. I can sit if you want me to.
No, you can
Huh.
stand. I'll let you stand. So this is.
I can take this off in
You
here.
can tell, yep, when you're talking, just talk into the mic. This is Dave Slide, he's your judge.
Hello,
Hi, Dave.
nice to meet you.
Hello.
Caleb will
Nice
give
to
you
meet
a
you.
2-minute timer countdown to let you know that you got to wrap up at 2 minutes and you got 3 minutes for tonight. Judy, so nice to meet you. And you can start with me.
Greetings, Judy. Hello. My name is Mohammed. How would I like to start today? That's okay. First, I'm gonna start by taking a deep breath.
Go right ahead. And you're gonna solve a winter problem for us, right?
I'm going to provide you an innovation meant to be used in the winter. Yes.
Great, excellent.
Yes. All right, I'm ready. Well, today I'd like to talk to you about the synergy that can be found in the science of cymatics, as well as the science of water and the removal of snow. If you're from the Midwest, or if you're somebody who lives anywhere where winter weather is a decent part of the year, you understand the struggles that come along with removing snow. When you wake up in the morning, sometimes when you go to sleep, depending on when you have to go to work. And cymatics is actually the tool that would be utilized in this innovation. So it would be a synthesis of cymatics and snow removal in the form of hexagonal tiles, which are embedded with subwoofers inside of them. And these hexagonal tiles connect together to make up a sheet that can run over the top of your car from the front hood over the ceiling and to the back. And using the power of sound, which has been shown in scientific study by Dr. Hans Jenny to actually change the molecular structure of water. So snowflakes or even petri dishes filled with water have been viewed underneath microscopes with sound waves flowing through them that change the structure. So you can use that cymatics potentially in the future to alter the structure of solidified snow over the top of a vehicle, and especially over windshields where it can tend to freeze. And the subwoofers inside of the hexagonal squares would only be produced using medical grade polyurethane to allow the vibrations to spread through it, copper, aluminum, and minor other materials in the polyurethane family. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you could tell me a little bit about, you said this is like a blanket of these tiles. How big are these individual hexagonal tiles?
6 inches by 6 inches was my ideal per
tile.
size. Per tile, yeah, 6 inches by
Okay.
6 inches. And so if you could imagine for a typical, 4-door family car or an SUV, it would probably be 15 tiles across by 25 or 30 tiles long. And obviously it would be something that you could customize to fit the length of your vehicle. And that's all stuff that would have to.
So if I put a blanket on my car
Mm.
and it snows, obviously I'm not necessarily getting snow on the car. I
Mm.
just have it on the blanket.
Mm.
So I'm trying to understand how, what real value is this offering versus just putting a blanket over my car?
Well, do you have any blankets that vibrate?
No, I don't.
Do you have any blankets that play sound?
No.
Okay, well, if you did have a blanket that played sound or a blanket that vibrated, you could potentially use that science to your advantage to entirely shift the makeshift of snow that's on top of your car, trapping you from getting inside of it. Now, with an ordinary quilt from your grandmother, I don't think the same is going to be possible.
So you're saying the snow would pile up on the blanket otherwise, but you're
Mm.
saying in your case that you're preventing the snow from actually accumulating.
Actually, I would say that what I'm doing using the science of sound and vibration is either using the sound itself as a vibratory force that can move the snow, or using the electromagnetic frequencies that is what sound and vibration is made of to heat up the temperature of anything that's covering it. It could be ice, it could be snow, it could be sleet.
So why
Could be
wouldn't I want to
leaves.
use an electric blanket? Where's the value of the cymatics relative to, let's say, a heating coil and electric blanket to generate that melting force?
Well, I don't know too much about electric blankets because I don't use one. But what I do use is multiple blankets covered on top of each other. And even if you did have a very nice blanket that was heated and had very high electrical power, able to hold a decent amplitude so that I could heat up hot enough to melt snow, you would need probably way more of those blankets, and they would probably be, very, very degraded after 1 or 2 uses. And in the case of something like medical grade polyurethane with subwoofers inside of it, you would have, and this is of course a product tailored to people who want the convenience of being able to come out to their car and melt the snow off or shake it off real quickly, rather than put in the hard work shoveling it off or paying their kids to do it. So in this case, it really just depends on the value that you're getting versus the trade-off, which would be the monetary cost that you pay for the product.
Well, I can see that both products would work. I'm either going to heat the snow or I'm going to vibrate the snow, right? To both of your points that I'm removing the snow from the blanket, if I understand your invention correctly. That before it snows, I put this blanket on before it snows.
Yeah, so you'd use the tiles as a sort of buffer between the elements of weather and your vehicle. But I do want to ask you if you know of any manufacturers of heated blankets that produce them for vehicles.
I don't, but I think one of the concerns would be the possibility that the heat from the blanket might harm the paint or the car. And so in your case, your cymatics, if it's working, if it has the same effect, you might be able to make the case that the sound vibration won't hurt the car, like a heated coil might hurt a car.
Absolutely.
Yet both of them would generate the snow removal. You could also possibly make a case that your sound frequencies take less electricity than heating coils on a blanket. So those would be areas you might look at from a competitive advantage.
Absolutely. Yeah. Of course, this is not an invention to me, it's an innovation. So it's constantly changing, right? So that would be probably the added benefit of keeping things open would be whichever mode of technological advancement develops the quickest and has the most advantages for cost.
All right. Well, good job. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Hope you all have a great day.
You too.
Stay warm. I don't have any blankets for you yet.
Thanks, nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can take a minute. So the next group, we're the first three canceled. So we got plenty of time.
Okay.
So what you'll do, we'll keep the cameras running, but you have to decide who
Yes.
you want to give $100 to.
Okay.
And then we'll ask you to come up to the microphone, announce who you want to give them to, and make any comments you want to any of the students about how they did or why.
So they don't come back. I'm just announcing that to here,
To the camera.
to the camera. Okay. All right. Give me a couple of seconds here.
There's no,
So the other people that have spoken typically will go through and present to each candidate how they did, or do they just focus on the candidate that won? What's the, or do they try to make a comment for each candidate?
Yeah.
Okay.
just a little bit about, but mostly here. This is what I liked that I saw.
Okay.
You guys did a good job at this. And the reason I chose this candidate was
Okay.
because of that. So,
I think I'm ready.
all right. Good luck. So you should have
3, 4.
3, 4. Yep.
Okay, hello, everybody. Well, I get the tough job of deciding who the winner is. We had 4 excellent presentations here in this particular College of Engineering sponsored segment. Once again, I'm Dave Sly, Director of Entrepreneurship for the College of Engineering. I'm going to award our #1 position to Becca. Becca Hall, I believe. She did an excellent job. What I really liked about Becca's presentation is you could tell that she was practiced, she was polished. She started with a really nice story. She ended with a really nice story. And in the middle, she really amplified that story. And it really made for a much more contiguous presentation that was much more impactful because of her forethought in creating this, I guess you'd say, presentation experience. The other thing I really liked about Becca's invention idea was the fact that you could tell she put a lot of time into the science behind the idea, the concept of the 2 mirrors and the material that they were covered with. I tried to ask a bunch of questions and she responded very quickly and well. So she'd really thought through this. One of the most important questions was, how are you going to power this? And her comment immediately on, well, obviously solar power will make the most sense, was this right on target. So I think she had a really good answer. And also when we talked about commercialization, who's going to buy it? How are you going to sell it? What's it cost? She didn't have the cost area. That was probably her only weakness on that, but she had really thought through the other distribution things. So I think from a whole picture perspective, Becca really knocked it out of the park, and really kudos to Becca on that presentation. I really want to say that the runner-up was Mohammed. Mohammed did also a great job, excellent presentation skills, excellent time in front of the camera. So real kudos there. Maybe with a little bit more practice and polish, that would have been good. I hit him with a number of technical questions, and you could tell he hadn't really thought through all those aspects yet, which is fine. I mean, this is an innovation pitch. This is supposed to be on the fly. So I thought, once again, his idea was very good. Certainly one worth serious consideration. I think the fact that the sound waves might be a better way to tackle the snow removal mitigation than heat that I brought up, even though that might be something he could think a little bit more about. Regardless, certainly something that offers further details. With a little more practice and a little more research on his idea, he was definitely a very close runner-up. So congratulations, Mohammed. I did want to say that both Francis and Caleb also did a really good job. Francis had the windbreak idea, and Caleb had the beard face mask. Both of those were a little more on the far outside of things relative to the two that came a little bit closer in, but I really want to give them kudos. I think Francis's idea actually makes a lot of sense. If there were things that we could put out there in the courtyard areas, which could be maybe act both as a windbreak, maybe a break against rain and sleet, a break against the sun on super hot days, something that could be durable but also movable. There's a lot of need for that, and I think if a little more thought, she may have a great business idea. And Caleb, the beard mask is certainly something I've seen, the funniness of people with beards having to wear masks. I'll just say I hope that we don't have to have masks much longer. Hopefully that's not an idea that has any long-term viability. So, but great job on all four of you. I really appreciate you for participating, and we enjoyed watching your pitches. Thank you.
Great, Dave, and thank you for your partnership. You've been a partner in entrepreneurship for many, many years, and we appreciate it. So we will start the last session won't start till 4:15. Everything's going to be pushed back a little bit for this last session. So about 4:15, and you'll meet a representative of the Ivy College of Business to talk about entrepreneurship innovation in that college. And then we'll have our final sets of pitches. So thank you so much.